What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and you guys know I'm a big tech guy. I'm a big gamer, so I always want to try out some of the, well, at this point we can't really call it the newest tech innovations or whatever, but you get the point. So real quick, before we go any further, I want to apologize for the sound of my voice. You guys know, because you're always obviously huge fans of my channel, that I'm currently sick, so my voice sounds like shit. You'd probably already know that because as huge fans, you've already hit that subscribe button, hint hint, and that you've seen in my previous videos and my previous live streams that my voice is a little bit off. So anyway, let's go into what we're gonna do. You guys know that I like my meat, my vegetables, and my technology in games the same way. I like these 100% fresh and completely fully sealed, which is why I got myself one of these. Still absolutely complete fresh in seal. That is beautiful. Now, what is this? Well, I got myself an Oculus Rift. Nice little Christmas present to myself from myself. Mainly because Amazon had a nice big sale on this particular bundle, the one that comes with the Rift itself and the two handheld controllers, but we'll get into the whole deal when we actually finish unboxing it now anyway. So, why did I buy this? Well, one, I had always wanted a VR headset, be it, I would have preferred the Vive. Having said all that, the Vive is twice the price of what I paid for this, and you need a much bigger play area to be able to use the Vive correctly and efficiently. Something I can't commit to right now, especially on both fronts, with the actual upfront cost of the Vive and the actual play area. So I decided this would be a good substitute for the moment. A lot of the VR games I want to try, with the exception of maybe two of them, are compatible with the Oculus Rift. If I remember off the top of my head, there's LA Noire Case Files VR, and there's one other that I don't remember the name of that are only working with the Vive, but you get the point. So this is a good start. There's a good upcoming amount of things coming out for the Rift that we will get into, I will talk about in this video too. So let's take a look at the box anyway. We've already seen the front. It tells us everything about it. It tells us what the main package that it is and what's included with it. We have a nice black side, absolutely gorgeous. We have another nice black side. In fact, let's get it out of its freshness wrapping and its freshness plastic. Love the smell of technology in the morning. Come on, you'd think they'd use the handle. Then again, this came in a box so, well, this is a box that came in a box that came in a box, so who knows? A lot of packaging, a lot of excess stuff, but hey, whatever. I can't complain. One of the boxes that came in is perfect for transport and arcade PCBs. So anyway, on the back, let's take a look. What do we have here? So this is everything that comes in the box, also cables and stuff too. So we have our Vive, their two left and right touch controllers, and the two sensors. It also includes, from what I read on there, 6 games, but I am only seeing 4 on the back here. So let me see what this says. In the box, headset, 2 sensors, touch controllers, and then it just goes over the recommended specs. So the recommended specs are pretty basic stuff, at least by my standards. Windows 7, I have Windows 10, GTX 970, LOL 970, a card that should never exist, but I've got a 1080, so this is absolutely nothing to it. Processor i5 4590, I've got a 5960X, this ain't shit. 8 gig RAM, I've got 32 gig, that's not a problem. Compatible HDMI 1.3 video output, that's also not a problem on a 1080. Input 3 USB 3.0 ports and 1 USB 2.0 port. I'm curious to see what all of that adds up to and what needs what and why what needs what. But I have a fuckload of USB 3 and 2 ports, so it doesn't matter. Requires a Windows PC with internet access, not a problem. Now, it says game download requires up to 30 gigabytes. Okay, fair enough. But it still doesn't say, like, it only shows 4 games. But I know on the page when I bought it, it said there were 6. We'll find out more about it inside, because I'm very curious that they don't actually show Lucky's Tale. You know that game that originally started out as a tech demo on the Oculus Rift, but was eventually kind of ported over or whatever it is, or changed and done and released as a Xbox game. But we'll see how it is anyway. I would have been curious to try it on here. Now, to try get this bad boy open, it's a bit of a convoluted box. Or at least it seemed to be a convoluted box. We've got our nice big Oculus symbol on the front. I've never understood if this is supposed to be an O, because it doesn't look like an O. It looks more like a sideways 0. Or if it's supposed to be, I don't know if you can, let me just double check if you can see that. There we go, now you can see it. I don't think it's supposed to be an O, because 1, it looks more like a 0. Yes, all these numbers and letters. And 2, it's on its side. So I think it's more supposed to be indicative of the front of the VR headset, the front of the Rift. But that's just my guess. Now, where is the next way to open this? It's a fancy box, I will give it that. Now, you probably can't see into it. Yeah, okay, you get a slight view. But it's a pretty fancy box. It's got like felt and everything here. Well, it's got felt, or I don't know if it's felt, but it's got a nice soft material at the top, which is all well and good. So I am going to tilt it forward ever so slightly, just so you get a look at the whole deal here. We will go into detail in everything in here. Now obviously I can't see the viewfinder, but I'm pretty sure you get a full view here. So we've got the touch controllers, 1, 2, we've got our 2 sensors, we've got our Rift headset, obviously all our, our cables are in here, and we have our literature and whatever it is in there too. So this is going to be a nice confusing way of doing this. Now, let's try this. So we have our touch controller. Now, I'm going to assume this is the left hand for 2 reasons. 1, it was on the left side of the box. 2, when you consider there's a button on the inside here, you would be holding it like this. So that would be your thumb button. So that makes sense. It's going to be very interesting to see how these work, especially considering the limited amount of buttons on there. But maybe you can make up for it with whole VR movement and all too. Some of the games that work with VR and Oculus Rift and all that do actually recommend, some possibly may require, an Xbox One controller. Luckily, I have a shitload of Xbox One controllers, including an Elite controller, which, by the way, this package, as you saw, does not come with an Xbox controller like some of the others do, but I have that covered anyway, so I'll just rock the Elite controller if needed. Now, we've got our right controller, it's the same deal, it's just opposite. You've got A and B on this one, button-wise, as well as an extra, what could possibly be home button or something. It's got the trigger at the back, it's got the one under the thumb. Would that be the thumb? That's kind of weird. No, it wouldn't. It'd be the middle finger, because your thumb will be on the thumbstick. Obviously, the thumbsticks click in. I don't know what this is. This little kind of separate panel here. I'm sure we'll find out once we actually get started with it. We'll take out one of the sensors. The 2 sensors will obviously be the same. They're actually wrapped in. There's actually a fair bit of weight to it. So the 2 sensors are obviously the same, so I'm only going to take one of them out. So I have to find out the proper perfect setup for these. Obviously, I only intend to use this at my desk and not like moving around the entire room, which is fine because a lot of the VR games I want to play are actually seating based games. Yes, people, before we go any further, I know you're already clamoring for it and you've probably left 600 comments in the comment section below about it. Yes, I will be playing Desert Bus VR. Have no fear. I know that is obviously a big concern on everyone's mind. And I will be playing it. This actually kind of resealed itself, so I have to get it back in. There we go. Now, obviously, the other one is going to be the exact same. At least with the controllers, there was a slight variance because you'd have a different layout, but it is what it is. So, trouble setting up Rift, don't give up, we can help. Now, luckily, I am a tech-savvy guy, so I should not need that, but it's always nice to know that it's actually there. So let's see what comes in our little literature bundle or a start pack or whatever you want to call it. Why is it so heavy? Oh, there's batteries in it, okay. Okay, so there's 2 batteries in there. We don't need to go over those, of course. I don't know what this is. It looks like it could be to pry stuff out, or maybe, I don't know. It's a weird little extra device. So obviously we've got our 2 batteries in there. I wonder if that means maybe it's 1 battery per controller. I don't know. But we'll take a look on this side too. This is basically everything that's included here. So we have a lens cover, or lens cloth, I'm sorry. Oh, it actually says what it is. Oh no, that's the audio tool. This little fancy thing I say, it's a little piece of plastic. But it's an audio tool apparently. I don't know what for. I'm sure we'll all find out as we go further into this whole thing. Touch controllers, 2 sensors, AA batteries, Rift, lens cloth and audio tool. Okay, so that's the start of there. Now let's look at everything we have in here. Our lens cloth, a standard what's probably black microfiber cloth, so that's pretty exciting stuff. Every one of you out there obviously has a smartphone, so you probably already have one of those. They have 2 Rift stickers. Really? Really? Not happening. And we have what is a quick little user manual thingy. Yeah. Riveting. Absolutely riveting stuff. So that seems to be it, because it, well, with the exception of the headset, of course, we'll get to that last. But that seems to be it, as far as additional extras go. Now, I wanna get this out without damaging it or breaking it or anything like that. Now, so we have our Oculus Rift headset itself. The European version does not come with the big pro audio harness, or whatever the exact name is, kind of escapes me at the moment. But this one does have the audio built in as usual. Because I'm such a snob when it comes to audio. But the problem is all my other audio sources are like big, huge headphones. Like I use some Bose Quiet Comfort 25 headphones, which obviously I can't use with this. So for the purposes of VR, I will be sticking with the standard little basic ones. So what do we have on here? We have another USB port, another USB cable. We have a HDMI port, and that's it, port-wise. So if that's the case, we've got, wait a minute, they said 4 ports altogether, 3 USB 3 and 1 USB 2. You'd have 1 for each sensor, which is 2. You have 1 more on here, which is 3. Obviously the other one is HDMI, so that's going into the graphics card. Interesting. Interesting stuff. But anyway, we'll worry about that later. Now, I'm not going to try on the Oculus right now because look at it. To be honest, I've already tried a DK2 ages ago. Over the last, I can't even remember when Oculus Rift officially launched, but I know in 2013, I think it was, and 2014, and possibly even 2015, I used dev kits. Not personally, like I didn't own them or anything, but I tried them out at conventions when people were there developing their own demos and stuff. But yeah, that's all that. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Oculus Rift actually does for me and what it can offer me for a tech and gaming experience. I realize many people kind of laugh at it and kind of scoff when they think of VR gaming, all that stuff. But hey, it is what it is. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to go. I'm going to get it set up. Unfortunately, one of my friends was supposed to, because I knew I had this coming, he was supposed to print out the manual for Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, but he didn't. And I didn't expect this to be here till next week, and he's not back in work till next week, so I may have to just kill him, strangle him with all the massive amount of cabling that comes with the Oculus Rift. So I'm going to have to try figure out a way to capture the Oculus Rift if I can. I'm sure I probably can. I'm sure whatever comes out on the Rift actually happens on the screen. hopefully I can figure out a way to do that. And the big thing I wanted to mention as well is that now that I have this Oculus Rift, I did say I'll be trying out games, I'll be trying out the demos, the tech demos, all the good stuff. I will be sharing them whenever possible, but if I can get it all working perfectly with the share, stream, capture, whatever, in January on PC, the timed exclusivity of 1 year of Resident Evil 7 VR is actually up. That's right, if you didn't know, the VR mode on Resident Evil 7 was a paid timed exclusive by Sony for the PS4 VR. So in January, that's going to be up because Resident Evil 7 released in January of 2017. So the timed exclusivity on the VR aspect will be 2018. Now, the cool thing about it is Resident Evil 7 is the entire game, the absolute entirety of the single player campaign can be played properly in VR because it's first person. I just recently played through the 2 final DLCs of the game, but I will probably go back and either play through the entire game or the majority of the game in VR, unless it's an absolute shit show, in which case I'll give up after like an hour. But I definitely intend to play that in VR, Resident Evil 7. So be sure to check that out, so you guys can hit the subscribe button, even though you already have or you're already subscribed, but you know, just you feel like doing it anyway just because. And that's something you can watch out for in January of 2018. I'll assume that it'll probably come in on the 1 year anniversary, which is at the end of the month. I don't remember the exact date. I want to say it's like the 27th or 28th or 29th, but it's towards the end of January anyway. So I'm assuming it's going to be available within the 1 year thing, because there was a 1 year paid timed exclusive by Sony to have it for their platform. Anyway, hopefully I can get it all set up for capture and all that stuff, get some epic Desert Buzz VR. It does raw data. I can't remember if raw data works on the Oculus Rift, as well as some other stuff too. I'm really looking forward to trying it all out. I've wanted a VR headset for a good while now, and this huge discount from Amazon was too good to pass. So it basically reduced it by just about half price, which was a pretty good deal. So that's it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the Oculus Rift and on VR in general. If there's any games you would recommend, let me know as well. I realize I'm a bit late to not just the Oculus, but the VR party, but hey, it is what it is. So let me know all of that good stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the rest of the VR videos in my channel, especially looking forward to Resident Evil 7 VR in early 2018. Peace out, everyone.